To the top story from the world of sport. India's squad for the T20 World Cup was announced today. Rohit Sharma will lead a 15-member squad, which is mostly on expected lines. Dinesh Karthik, Rishabh Pant both making the cut. So has R. Ashwin, who's been chosen ahead of young leg spinner Ravi Bishnoi. Standby players named include Mohammad Shami, Deepak Chahar, Bishnoi and Shreyas Iyer. Jasprit Bumrah too makes a comeback along with Harshal Patel. Okay, joining us now is legend Sunil Gavaskar to give us his views. Mr. Gavaskar, as you look at the team, any surprises? Is there someone you would have had who is not in this team?
No real surprises. I think this is a very good selection. They've covered all the bases, and I do believe that Kohli's century as an opening batsman has given them the option of going in with another batsman, somebody like a Deepak Huda, an extra batsman. So yes, I think this looks like a very, very good team.
So they have picked a third opener, but they've also put in 3 spinners in the team. Are you okay with that on Australian tracks, Ashwin, Aksar and Chahal? Or would you have picked, as some were suggesting, an extra seamer like Mohammad Shami on Australian wickets?
This is a good side. This is a good side. I think on Australian pitches, the spinners will get a little extra bounce. They might not get the kind of turn that they get in the subcontinent, but they'll certainly get a lot more bounce. The wrist spinners in particular, Chahal will be able to get turn as well as bounce. And the Australian boundaries are huge boundaries, big boundaries. So it won't be easy to hit the big sixes. All in all, I think the selection committee has done a very good job.
You know, the one big change, of course, from the Asia Cup is the return of Jasprit Bumrah, hopefully fully fit. Potential linchpin. Would you agree that he, along with Hardik Pandya, the kind of players that can make a difference in a T20 tournament? And Harshal Patel also coming
even
back.
Harshal Patel,
yes.
In the bowling lineup with Harshal Patel and Jasprit Bumrah back in the team, India will be that much more confident about defending totals. Where our problem in the Asia Cup was defending totals. And so therefore, with these two back in the team, back in the playing 11, back in the mix, I do believe that India will be capable of defending small totals as well. Of course, luck has got to go your way. That's part of this game. But otherwise, I think this is a team, like I said, if luck goes its way, they can bring the cup back.
Rishabh Pant or Dinesh Karthik, who would be your first choice for wicket-keeper batsman in this team?
My first choice would be Rishabh Pant. Rishabh Pant would be my first choice wicketkeeper. There's Dinesh Karthik as well. Depending on the opposition, depending on the size of the boundaries, depending on the pitch, depending on the overhead conditions, I think you would want to play both of them in the 11, or maybe just one of them. But I think that depends on the situation and on a given day.
But as we saw, Mr. Gavaskar, in the Asia Cup, Sri Lanka, without any major stars, won the tournament. Is there a lesson somewhere? Maybe keep the expectation and the pressure a little lower when the team goes into these big tournaments, rather than keep the hype going, especially around India and Pakistan.
They were under the radar, weren't they? Because everything about the Asia Cup, everybody was talking only India, Pakistan, India, Pakistan, India, Pakistan, as if these are the only 2 teams. And when you look at the fact that Sri Lanka has won this for the 6th time, that is second only to India, it does tell you that, when we talk about prospects, who's likely to get in the finals, you mustn't ignore Sri Lanka. And that's a nice tight slap that Sri Lankans have given to all those who are trying to say it's going to be an India-Pakistan finals.
Is that part of the problem, though? Even in the World T20, we now play Pakistan right at the very outset. There'll be a lot of hype around that. Is there a message you're sending out that you have to actually win the cup, not just win against Pakistan?
Absolutely. I mean, that should be the whole aim, is not just to win one match, but to win the cup. And obviously, beating Pakistan would be a great step forward, because that gives you a lot of confidence. And then obviously you can tackle the other teams as well. But no, I think you've got to win 4 out of the 5 matches that you've got to play, because that will help you to get into the knockout stages.
You know, you were the one captain who won a global one-day tournament in Australia, 1985, champion of champions, or world championship as it was called. What does it take to win in Australia? Extra size, high, big grounds? What's the key to winning in Australia?
I think the key really is to get off to good starts. So if you look at that win in 1985, our two openers, Srikanth and Shastri, gave us good starts in just about every game. Our new ball bowlers enjoyed the extra bounce on the Australian surfaces and got the early wickets. So really the platforms for both the batting as well as bowling were given by the bowlers. We had an outstanding fielding unit, absolutely top class. There wasn't anybody that you needed to hide. We had fielders on the boundary who were saving the boundaries, hurling the ball back in, and we had in Shivram Krishnan a leg spinner who bowled extraordinarily well. I think, without trying to bang my own drum, probably I was the first captain who picked a leg spinner in a limited overs competition, because I was confident that Shivram Krishnan, with his talent, would be able to spin the ball, get the bounce, and even if he bowled a bad ball, the long Australian boundary, that time the fence was the boundary. Unlike now, when the boundary will be about 8 to 10 yards or 10 meters inside, it was a full boundary. And that he would get wickets, people trying to hit him would be caught in the deep. And that's exactly what happened.
Just one more question. You think this team therefore has a good chance to win this tournament, go all the way? I'm personally picking Hardik Pandya as the person who could make all the difference between winning the cup or not. You agree?
Yes, I think he can. Yes, I think he could possibly do what Ravi Shastri did in 1985, where, Ravi was the outstanding performer with both bat and ball in the entire tournament, took some good catches as well. So yes, Hardik Pandya, capable of doing that. And don't forget, at mid-off, he effects some electrifying runouts as well, direct hits at the bowler's end, catching the batsman inches short. So it's not just the batting and the bowling aspect of Hardik Pandya, but the fielding aspect that could turn the game India's way. I won't be surprised if he's like Ravi Shastri was in 1985, if he's like the champion of champions.
Well, if you remember, Ravi Shastri got his Audi at the time, 1985. What car will Hardik get? The game has changed since then. Thanks very much, Sunil Gavaskar, for joining us. Hopefully, positively, we'll have a victory in the T20 World Cup.